Hi, I came across this on Patreon and wanted to share it with you. It's the four elements of a journey of success. The four elements are hope, they're fear, grit, and glory. They're the four elements. And I just wanted to dive into those just very quickly, just to give you a bit of an insight as to what those things are. So with hope is what gives us the initial inspiration. It's like the first gear of the journey, if you like. It gives us inspiration. We see a sort of a sort of an idea of where we want to go in a general direction that we want to go in, and that motivates us. We visualize some various things, and subsequently with that we start that process. We start with the inspiration. The inspiration gets us excited, and we start the whole process. The car moves forward. But then what happens is that an element of fear comes in. Well, what if I take the wrong turning on my journey? What if there are certain problems? What if people don't appreciate what I'm doing? What if I'm just not good enough? And you basically end up with a lot of self-doubt, and that incorporates with fear. And that's actually a good thing. And the reason it's a good thing is because the emotion that we're really craving here is excitement, and the two go together. You can't actually have excitement without fear, because any excitement that you have is not really excitement. It might be happiness or a bit of joy, but it's not really excitement. Because if you're excited about something, it means there's an element of danger, there's an element of risk, there's an element that it could go wrong. And with that, it was exciting. If you knew you're going to be successful from the outset, it wouldn't be very exciting for you. So fear breeds excitement, and the two go hand in hand. So that's the second part of the journey, fear. And you do well to remember that you can't have that element without the other. And as long as you expect it on your journey, then you'll find that it's actually okay. It's just an illusion. Fear is just an illusion to help you to actually get more excited. So as long as you remember that, and you remember that as part of your journey, then the road is going to be very easy to traverse. The third part that I want to talk about is grit. Now that you know that you're going to have certain fears, you're going to have certain obstacles, it's about knowing that, okay, well, I'm going to come to a section of the road that requires me to have grit. And that means, I might be not motivated one day. I might have people telling me it won't work, it's going to fail. It might be that I have self-doubt. It might be that you just have a fear of doing it for whatever reason. So these are things that you're going to have to traverse, and these are things that you're going to need some grit at the end of the day to get part of your journey. If you visualize a road, and on this road, I like to use the yellow brick road as a visualization, and I'm on that first part of that journey, and I look at it and I think, oh, great, first part of the journey is nice and easy, it's inspiration. Okay, next part I'm going to have to overcome is the fear element. There's going to be fear, I'm going to have self-doubt, I don't know whether it's going to work. That's okay, I'll deal with it. It's just an illusion. It's what makes the whole thing exciting. The third part is the grit element. I know I'm going to have to dig down. I'm going to have to go into my resources. There'll be times where I just won't fancy doing it, but they're the times that I've actually got to get up and do it. And as long as you can expect that, and you can think of decent ways, and it obviously is different for every situation, but you can think of different ways that will motivate you towards doing that. Okay, and it's very dependent on the situation. The fourth thing is the glory. You want to actually bring that sometimes into step two, because you want to create a visualization of what the glory would look like. So that way it gives more fuel to your inspiration, and the more fuel you have for your inspiration, obviously the more the grit part will manifest itself much more easily. So but the glory is also very, very important. You want to with glory, a lot of people don't enjoy their glory. They don't, and more importantly, don't reward themselves for the glory. They have the glory, but they don't really revel in it. Or you can go the other way, whereby you actually sometimes might revel too much. The thing to bear in mind is that you don't want to over revel, okay? But by the same token, you do want to reward yourself. It's really, really important that you reward yourself and you enjoy the moment. But like anything, you want to use it as an inspiration for the next journey that you take. At some point, you want to get off that part of the road, and you want to get onto the part of the road that is your next journey. One other thing, final thing, just as a reminder, I've just sort of reminded myself about something. You don't want to stay on any part of the road too long. You want to walk through that part of the road. The inspiration, the hope part, you don't want to stay on there too long. Because if you stay on there too long, all that happens is you start procrastinating. And that becomes a procrastination because you don't want to go into the fear element. So just bear that in mind. Every journey, you want to walk at steady steps, okay? And you want to go on to step 1, which is, as a reminder, is the hope. Step 2, which is the fear. Step 3 is where you're going to dig down and get your grit. And step 4 is the glory. Revel in it, enjoy it, reward yourself, then create the next journey. Hopefully, if you do that, if your timing is good, you should have lots of inspiration for your next journey, so you get a nice little turbo boost there. Anyway, I hope it's been useful for you. I found it pretty useful and interesting when I first found it, and I just want to share it with you.